So, Tar, do you want to do the introductions this week?
Yes. Well, I always do the introductions.
Well, no, I'm talking about introducing the hosts.
Wait. Oh, you want me to introduce the hosts?
Yeah, I couldn't think I need to find some good things to say. I've been really dropping the ball the last few.
Well, shit, you're putting me on the spot, bro.
All right, I'll ad-lib something if I must.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
Dizzy
Dizzy
can
Dizzy do the host. Dizzy do the host introductions.
Let me just flaunt
he does the host introductions.
my 3 hours of sleep, which is 3 hours more than I usually get. So I'm energetic. This is energized DSY.
Oh, fun. All right.
Fuck me.
Opening quip time. Welcome back to Bros in a Landfill, the podcast equivalent of charging at a dicey yellow light at 5 over the speed limit.
Your hosts for today are the Super Monkey Ball Tar.
Ookie, I don't know.
The less Super Monkey Ball Try.
Meow.
And me, who is not even super at all, just a monkey ball. I'm DSY, and I approve this message.
Brought to you by our sponsors.
Insert sponsors here.
Bros in a Landfill. We
Bros
sponsor
in a
ourselves,
landfill,
bitches.
Here to make your day by covering you in trash.
Da 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 da. We're getting sued.
Food poisoning.
So another week, another podcast. Time for people to click off already.
Yay! We love click-offs. Your click-offs only make us stronger.
Yeah. So if I remember from last week, we left Dizzy with picking the topic.
Yeah, this is going to be the last week we ever do that ever, because I can assure you right now, this is going to be the worst podcast of all of them.
And before it's the best podcast.
Well, if anything, it just means that we'll have hit rock bottom, so there's nowhere to go but up. So there you go.
You're always your own worst critic.
I am setting
Give me a moment
up
to
the
get my pickaxe.
foundation. You put that pickaxe away, Tar. We're not burying dead bodies yet.
And we're not playing Minecraft.
Speaking of Minecraft, let's talk about games we don't like, and no one mentioned that none of us dislike Minecraft.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Minecraft.
Do you hate it?
What?
Do you hate it?
I did not hear anything of Dizzy's screams.
You hate it?
No, I don't hate it. It's just not my type of game.
Do you hate Super Monkey Ball Adventure?
Wait, what?
I'm keeping us on topic, goddammit. Start complaining about Super Monkey Ball Adventure. I'm taking the reins of this.
We were just talking about Minecraft, though.
No, I've got nothing to say about Minecraft at all. It's an okay game. I'm not a big fan of, I don't do well with creative-based games. I like linear, story-based games. So Minecraft,
I made a spider mall in Minecraft, I'll have you know.
Yeah.
How does that...
I could probably find a lot of fun with Minecraft if I actually sat down and I had the patience to do so. I just don't have the patience for a game like Minecraft when I have hundreds of dollars worth of games I've bought and haven't played yet.
You need a group.
I've never played Minecraft, but from what I can tell, it's a mediocre base with an awful fan base. A mediocre game with an awful fan base, rather.
Well, there goes our sub count.
Yeah.
You kind of need a group to play Minecraft. The three of us, I imagine, could be very interesting if we streamed playing Minecraft with each other. And we could just step on each other's toes as we try to build a house.
How about this? Instead of Minecraft, let's play Roblox, because I hear that's in now.
I thought Roblox was a YouTube channel that did 3 a.m. stuff. Or was that just what Munahar told me?
No, Roblox is like a Minecraft-like game that's kind of the new meme center. That I don't know if it's actually that. It's kind of the new Minecraft-ish.
Okay, but here's the question.
It's been around for a while, though.
Yeah, no,
I think it's been around longer than Minecraft, hasn't it?
It may have been around longer than Minecraft. I think I just see more about Roblox. Like, there's more. Like, I see more with Roblox than I do with Minecraft nowadays.
Okay, but here's the question: Roblox is a creative game, right?
Yeah.
Can you create Australia? Because I've just been informed it's not real.
Shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. The
Enigma's an actor paid by NASA.
The flat earthers have proved it.
Well, shit. Now I guess we can't refute anything.
Anyways, So speaking of games we've hate, I'm actually want to hear more about Super Monkey Ball Adventure from Tar because when I was young, I distinctly remember actually liking Super Monkey Ball Adventure. I just don't know why. Maybe so.
Well, for one, the physics are wonky.
I mean, the physics in Monkey Ball are always a bit wonky.
The physics are different from Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2, therefore wonky.
You know, that might be why I had much harder time playing Adventure over 1 and 2.
Well, I mean, like, I can't remember what exactly it was, but I joined the Super Monkey Ball Discord, and apparently it's because they handle steering differently. I can't remember exactly how, but yeah, Super Monkey Ball Adventure steering is quite suboptimal compared to Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2.
Yeah, and considering the steering in Monkey Ball in general is not the easiest thing to do, I can just imagine Adventure being even worse.
Oh, yeah. Well, Adventure also has no concept of a difficulty curve.
Yeah. Well, that's because it wants to be a story-based game, and with those types of story games, you have to get harder and harder and harder. Where with the first two games, it's really just puzzles with a story. This is trying to be story with puzzles.
Well, no, it's not even that. Oh. Like, there is a gigantic leap in difficulty from beginner to advanced. And I don't know if that's just how the world progression in story mode works, because it's not exactly clear whether the game wants you to do. So you obviously have to do Jungle Island first, and you have to do Monketropolis and Congrela last. But the game doesn't really make it clear whether or not it wants you to do Moonhaven or Zootopia first in between. And yes, Super Monkey Ball Adventure did it first. Zootopia, rather.
I'm just looking at a Let's Play right now. I'm just like, why would you ever think making Super Monkey Ball into a 3D platformer-esque game would ever be a good idea?
Well, it already kind of was.
I mean, it already was, but I'm trying to think. Because I'm talking about with the
introduction of the overworld.
Yeah.
And just how kind of complex it is.
Yeah, I personally I would think, they shouldn't have to be in the balls all the time. Have them run around, and when they go to one of the stages, have them jump in the balls.
Well, no, because the ball is necessary because the ball gives you magical powers that you need to do other things.
Yeah, I get that. I just don't think that's great of a design choice.
Besides, if you don't have the ball, how else can you run down monkeys flat with a humorous cymbal sound?
Maybe it should have been one of those things where you can hop in and out of the ball just at any time. Because, anyways,
the ball's pretty vital.
Yeah, I guess. I guess maybe I'm going back. I'm looking at old Monkey Ball replays, and even like classic Monkey Ball Arcade. I'm just like, yeah, I remember I didn't like Monkey Ball at all, but I liked the aesthetic when I was younger. I really dug the monkey aesthetic and like the trippiness of the designs. But Jesus Christ, I don't get the appeal of monkey. Physics challenge.
It's getting from point A to point B really fast. What's there to get?
Well, there's a bunch of platforming elements that it's either you take your time and you run out of time, or you go really fast and you fuck up.
Well, yeah, because the game is bonkers hard.
Yeah, it's one of those absurdly difficult games where it tricks you at the beginning, where like, oh, these are some super easy stages.
How the fuck am I supposed to balance a ball on a cylinder?
How the fuck am I supposed to balance a ball on an extremely thin line with gaps in between it? And then
you mean like a checkerboard pattern?
Yeah, well, like you got the checkerboard, you got those ones where like, oh, here's the baby easy path that you could beat in one try, and then here's the super hard path that gets you like that has like this like a better score thing, and it's like absurdly difficult just to get that, but it's taunting you with that hard difficulty one.
like it's trying to mock you for playing easy mode.
Yeah,
despite the fact that sometimes even easy mode is kind of not very cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait, hang on. I thought I had a thought. Push me in another direction.
Okay,
push you in another direction, just like Super Monkey Ball. I'll say this. I have very little to talk about on the topic of Super Monkey Ball, but I do know the first time I ever heard about the game from anywhere at all was when a friend of Sleuth's, this was years ago. This was when I was like 8, I think. McDonald's had these Happy Meals that came with these little Happy Meal fake toys that were like Game Boy.
I heard about this.
They were like games, but they were like calculator games. Like Tiger Electronic games. Do you know what Tiger games are?
Yeah, I know the Tiger games, yeah.
They're like
I used to love them when I was a kid.
And
Not
one was
Monkey
Super
Ball
Monkey Ball. One was Super Monkey Ball, and he got it, and he was like showing it to us, and he said he had a whole bunch of them. He had a bunch of like Sonic ones too. And I absolutely could not understand it because in my hands I also had a Game Boy, and I thought the Game Boy was a lot more impressive. Oh, my RTC disconnected.
I know the Sonic ones is just the Chaos Emerald.
You may not be able to hear me now, but try if the future will.
I couldn't imagine how they'd ever make Monkey Ball work, considering it's a physics-based game.
Because wait, I need to make sure I'm getting this right. The Tiger games are the one where you're given like this gamepad, and there's a whole bunch of like pre-established areas where icons will light up, and then you play based on the icons.
They're like calculators,
like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Games.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not very good at explaining it, but
I'm seeing if I can find that online.
If you want a good video about Tiger Electronics, why don't you check out my YouTube channel where I make fun of them frequently.
Wait, do you actually?
Check out my YouTube channel. I don't talk about Tiger games ever.
Okay. Oh, right. I was also going to try to talk about the story, because that's a treat.
Oof. I bet we can get some fun out of that.
Think of Romeo and Juliet, except no one dies.
So a bad story that...
Yes?
It just sounds kind of... Okay, it looks like Dizzy was cut out somehow.
Oh. Wait.
Oh. No, we need to get Dizzy back.
We gotta get Dizzy back!
No, don't do that. It hurts.
Good. My magic spell worked to bring Dizzy's internet back.
Hey,
it won't last for long.
Dizzy.
Yeah.
Try, you're going to have a lot of fun editing this, because you're going to hear a lot of parts where I have long diatribes, realize my RTC disconnected, and then I say directly to future Try, who edits this audio, hey buddy, neither of you heard anything I just said.
So there's a fun audio trick I can do with Audacity where I can pause the rest of it. Like I can isolate what you're saying, cut that out, like pause the rest of us and just play that, and then go back into whatever.
Well, why would you play it if neither of you heard it?
Be really disconnected. But anyway, Super Monkey Ball Adventure story. So there's two neighboring kingdoms called Monketropolis and Congrela, and they both have a prince. They have a prince and a princess, respectively, who met each other maybe the night before the events of the game occurred. They somehow procure an airplane, which in this world technology, that doesn't seem like the airplane doesn't really seem very cohesive to the world. This is the only time an airplane is ever shown. But anyways, they take a plane, they crash it on Jungle Island, and then they hide out for a little bit. Maybe a couple hours. We find them, and then they decide, hey, we're in love despite the fact that we met maybe 12 hours ago.
That's a quick romance.
Yeah. No, it's not. No, hang on, it gets better. We've managed to find them. Like, I and the gang managed to find them. Like, the Jungle Island's king is pissed because, like, hey, you're not supposed to be here. You're bringing sadness all over the place. This is a bad look, okay, fam? And then they just, like, not only do they decide they're in love, but they decide they want to get married.
Ugh. Damn.
Yeah. And everyone's just going along with this. Nobody has any questions about this. Like, maybe 3 monkeys in total kind of call BS. Because, like, these kingdoms hate each other. Like I said, this is Romeo and Juliet, but no one dies.
That sounds like the best story I've ever heard.
It's still a better love story than Twilight.
Oof.
Oof.
Imagine Twilight, but monkey balls.
Oh, no!
Oh my god, someone's gonna make art of that now if they hear this.
Welcome back to Bros in a Landfill.
I give
now
Sleuth
with
12
Twilight
hours.
Monkey balls.
Sleuth, this is a challenge. Make monkey ball, but Twilight. Yeah, okay. If we were talking about something like Sonic or Minions, and I said Twilight but Minions or Sonic but Minions, I guarantee you someone would come around, listen to this, and actually
immediately do it.
Immediately do it and send it to us. And Dizzy just okay.
We are losing Dizzy.
Okay, Dizzy.
Just keep going without me. By
the sheer force of this being Monkey Ball, the only person who would ever do it is Sleuth by us asking her to do it.
Oh, and that's not even getting to the petty conflict between Monketropolis and Congrela themselves, which, on the surface, looks okay, but completely falls apart if you give it any amount of thought.
Yeah.
So,
it sounds about what you'd expect.
It's a Super Monkey Ball game. Asking it to have a good story is like asking cheesecake not to be delicious.
Oh, that's easy. Just be allergic to it.
Or be lactose intolerant.
True. Good thing I'm not. But anyways, so they both hate each other, so Monketropolis. I'm going to do that one first since that's the place you go first. Monketropolis has a bit of a monster problem, and the monsters originate from Congrela. However, the Monketropolians have discovered that Congrelans don't like noise. So, they pump all of their budget, all of their energy, pretty much everything possible into making this city as loud as possible. Even going so far as to make a noise factory filled with cymbals and horns.
I'm sure the Grinch wouldn't appreciate that.
So a lot of the Monketropolis missions are based around driving out the monsters. Like, hey, we've seen some monster sightings. I've got some jail cells ready for these bastards. Round them up. Wait, the monsters have plugged up our subterranean noise system. We need someone to unplug those noise conduits. We need someone to... Thank you for disrupting the narrative flow.
For those who aren't aware, I just Googled Twilight Monkey Ball.
Don't
and
Google
the
it!
image I got is Twilight Sparkle kissing one of the 2 characters from regular show.
I believe that's Mordecai.
Yeah,
Disney's gonna, like, whoever's editing this is gonna have to slap that on.
Yeah. No, that's going into the
Oh, is that going to go in the thumbnail?
That's going in the thumbnail.
Fuck off, Try. Fuck off.
You're welcome.
I want no part of a podcast that subjects the world to that.
Don't worry. It's just
okay. But anyway,
if you search Twilight Monkey Ball and you scroll down a bit, you'll find it. You don't have to ask me to put it in the video.
Why would you give them the source to this?
Ask our viewers to Google. But anyway, so you have to crawl along the pipes of the noise factory, realign the pipes, and boost the efficiency of the noise factory, and then you get to Congrela, where you realize, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't have done all of this because the Congrelan monsters are actually monkeys wearing masks, and they wear the masks because because they can't handle the noise, and the mask blocks them out. So if the Monketropolians are putting out noise because of the Congrelans, and the Congrelans wear masks because of the noise, how did this start again?
I'm trying to think of a very logical explanation for this incredible series of events. But
no, I haven't had such a complicated question since I played Persona 5.
Yeah. Does it make as much or more sense than Pony Trials?
I don't know. I've never played a Pony Trial. Dizzy?
Give me a minute. I need to consider that.
Okay.
I legitimately
try to keep
don't
going
know.
on about a thing while Dizzy considers.
Okay. So Monkey Ball.
Okay. Yes. Monkey Ball.
You have to be pretty masochistic to play Monkey Ball.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah, and if you're the type of person who would play and like Monkey Ball, you got what you got coming with Super Monkey Ball Adventure, because if you've forced yourself to play that like this such a sadistic game, it's only natural that you get such a sadistic story.
Wait, hang on. I forgot Zootopia, the amusement park that won't let its guests leave.
So you're telling me that Disney copied Monkey Ball?
Is Zootopia about an amusement park that won't let its guests leave?
Well, I mean, it's just called Zootopia. It's completely.
I said earlier, Monkey Ball did it first.
Yeah, Monkey Ball did it first, and
it's spelled exactly the same way too.
And the original is always better.
Yikes!
God, imagine if Zootopia was worse than Super Monkey Ball Adventure Zootopia.
Well, Super Monkey Ball Adventure Zootopia's missions mostly consist of, hey, can you shut down this ride so the guests can leave? I can leave my post and hang myself.
Now, is it better or worse than Mario Sunshine's theme park stage?
I actually haven't played enough of Mario Sunshine to reach the theme park stage. Wait, no, actually, I think I did it once. I remember there being a roller coaster mission.
I've got to say this, just by looking at Super Monkey Ball Adventure, it is very much a GameCube game and like a PS2 game.
Yes, it is.
With all the problems that come from like early GameCube and PS2 games.
Like?
Well, considering that the N64 allowed 3D platformers, but the console wasn't that powerful, so you didn't have very much experimentation with the 3D platformer genre. It was a lot of similar games with slightly different control schemes. Come the GameCube and PS2 era, with the better hardware, you just start seeing these 3D platformer like hub world games that have really bizarre controls. It's like taking any game they can and make it into a 3D platformer puzzle game.
Well, I mean, it tries to keep the Super Monkey Ball spirit by only being one button.
Yeah.
Vanilla, Super Monkey Ball 1, Super Monkey Ball 2, you only had to use the control stick and the fucking A button if you decide you need to adjust the size of your mini-map.
Yeah. And
Super Monkey Ball Adventure's story mode is the exact same thing. You do everything with the control stick and the A button.
Yep. And I think it comes to an issue of Super Monkey Ball Adventure takes controls and mechanics that work for a physics puzzle, like a 3D physics puzzle game, and tries to put that into a 3D platformer game, and it just comes off as wrong and jarring.
Well, I mean, there is a lot of overlap there, though.
Yeah, no, it's almost like this, kind of like an uncanny valley of controls. Like when you're given a stage that, because where Monkey Ball works really well is with how limited the stage are. There isn't any major platforming. It's more about how can I use the stage to get me where I'm going. But something like the hub world of regular Monkey Ball, Monkey Ball Adventure is, you're not actually manipulating the stage with. You're not tilting the stage, or I don't know.
Well, you're not tilting the stage in regular Monkey Ball either. Like, the game is designed to be played with the stage tilt aesthetic, but as evidenced by any level with a hill, you are indeed moving the monkey.
See. I don't know. Maybe it's a weird aesthetic thing, because when you tilt, like, if you're just moving the monkey in regular Monkey Ball, but the screen's tilting, I wonder if it works in a way of by portraying the acceleration and whatnot, like it creates a certain feel to the play where you don't get that as much in a stationary setting.
Well, I mean, in the Super Monkey Ball Adventure Hub world, there's also the stage tilt aesthetic for some reason.
Yeah. You know, that might be one of the biggest problems with Super Monkey Ball Adventure, because you go from a hub world where as you move, things stay still. And when you get to the puzzles, the screen tilts, the stage tilts.
No, it tilts in both of them.
Oh, it tilts in... Wait, what?
Yeah. It's weird. But, and you can tell because, if you encounter one of those, spring flowers and you roll yourself onto it, for some reason, no matter which direction you move the control stick, the hub world will stay tilted the way it was when you got onto that flower.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, this oh, wow. That is... I think they want to have a fixed perspective with the monkey, so they tilt the camera. It's not the world's not tilting, it's the camera tilting based off of where the monkey is inside the ball. Like, it's fixed on the...
Maybe.
The monkey, because I'm watching some footage right now, and I find that the monkey always seems to be directly lined up with where the camera is.
I knew what I wanted to say there, but that wouldn't have made sense.
You know what? That actually explains a lot. This is a different topic. So in my game design courses, we had one class that was making Unity games for Android, and we had to make a Super Monkey Ball type of game using instructions, and it never felt right, and it always felt off. And I think the reason is because the programming had us actively tilting this. Like, instead of using the tilt to move the ball, we tilted you were tilting the stage using the gyroscope to move the monkey, but actual monkey ball, that's not actually what's happening. What's happening is the camera's fixed on the monkey.
Oh yeah.
So that actually
Super Monkey Ball games that use gyroscope controls, and that sounds like torture.
No, it's absolutely terrible. It's virtually unplayable.
I think the one for the Vita also had gyroscope controls, which were optional, thank God. But if you wanted to get the highest achievement, you had to collect every banana on every stage in every world using only gyroscope controls.
Well, I think the gyroscope is somewhat okay if you're using it to control the ball, but if you're tilting the stage to move using the gyroscope, that's where things get off, because you lose a level of control of the character.
You lose a level of control of you lose a level of visibility because you have to tilt your fucking entire system, and you have to move your head with it, and it's just not very good.
Well, yeah. Well, on top of that, because that's a big issue with right there. I'm talking about on top of, not actually controlling the monkey through the movements. Yeah, I forgot that Super Monkey Ball Adventure also had random enemies for you to defeat.
Oh yeah, but there were only 3 or 4 in every world, unless you were in Zootopia, in which case there's fucking 6.
Oof. So how was the combat in the game?
And most of them were the boxing type enemies, which take the longest to defeat.
Mm-hmm.
The combat is okay. There's only 4 enemy types, and you need a different ability to defeat each one. There's the spinning type, which can be used, which I think can only be being using base form, Because like we tried doing it with a chant active and it didn't work. You just have to wait for him to stop spinning, get dizzy, hear the birds chirping, ram into him. Like I think you just have to like touch him, and then he just goes down with one hit like a chump. There's the vacuum type. Those types are bitches. You have to use the size increasing one. You have to wait for him to eat you, and then increase size while you're inside of him.
Ooh, that just sounds wrong in too many ways.
Sleuth's gonna have a field day.
Yeah. You assume she
watches
Sleuth,
these videos.
Well, you gotta tell her to watch this one because we talked about Super Monkey Ball Adventure, the best game ever.
How am I supposed to get footage of this game? I don't have an emulator.
There's the fire type, which is weird. You have to use the wood ability. You have to use the ability that turns your ball into wood. You have to wait for it to breathe fire twice at you for extended periods of time, and light yourself on fire. And then when he starts breathing fire directly into the air, you have to ram into him and light his tail on fire.
Is there an ability that turns your ball into marijuana, so when he breathes fire on it, you can just get a nice high?
This is a kid's game.
Pokemon
there's nothing morally wrong with marijuana, and kids should be able to know about it and make decisions for themselves.
There is not a marijuana ability. There is just a wood ability.
Worst game ever, 0 out of 10?
Because that's even better.
And there's the boxing type enemy, which you have to box to death. There's a big fat target on his belly that you have to punch when he stops guarding. 3 times.
If you need things for I don't know, for the video, I'm sure you can find some crappy Monkey Ball fan games online.
You assume those will last
actually, Super Monkey Ball level hacking is a recent thing, and most of them are actually really good. Like,
because you'd expect the fans to know what makes the games good and make better stages.
Some of them are not very good. Yeah, i.e., anything by NGUU.
Oh no, we're calling somebody out. Does it mean we have to have the drama? Is this drama alert time?
It's drama alert time.
Yeah.
Do I have to bleep that name so Nintendo doesn't take them down?
NGUU has been getting a lot better with his level designs. Like, unfortunately, the Super Monkey Ball Discord and the Super Monkey Ball level creation Discord are 2 separate things, and I'm not a part of the level creation Discord, which I really should be because I love custom levels. Custom levels just make me happy inside.
That's good. You should be happy.
But, like, they've unleashed a couple, like, there's been enough levels created that there have been 2 community packs unleashed.
Oof.
Unleashed. Released, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Like, there is a bit of overlap over which stages are used. But, like, try community pack. Like, if you want to see cool Super Monkey Ball levels, custom made, try either the community pack version 1.5 or Super Monkey Ball. That's Monkey Ball with an ED at the end.
When did we become such
cool? That works, but like, and also you need to be fairly technologically savvy in order to actually play them. But like, Super Monkey Ball it's such a good hack. It's such a good pack. It's story mode only, and it's for like all of these packs are for Super Monkey Ball 2. Like, it's good. It's good. Super Monkey Ball actually made it into games done quick. That's how good it is.
Yeah, well, if it takes more than 5 minutes to set up, I'm probably not going to do it.
Fortunately, it takes less than 5 minutes to look up some YouTube videos.
Yeah, I'm not stealing other people's YouTube videos.
Yeah, no, Dizzy's got too much pride as a YouTuber. By the way, I'm watching these these Let's Plays of Monkey Ball Adventure and some of the other ones, and one of the things I distinctly remember of classic Monkey Ball is getting fed up with the stage and then finding ways to like
cheese it.
Yeah, cheese it. But
that's always fun.
Yeah, like the stages where like they just you're supposed to maneuver your way down platforms, and then the goal is like right below where you started, and you're just like, nope, I'm just gonna roll off the side and just land right there.
Oh yeah, it's fun discovering shortcuts like that, especially on levels where you're very clearly not supposed to take the exact shortcut you're about to do.
Yeah.
But you cheese it anyways because physics. See Super Monkey Ball 1 Expert 4.
Yeah. I remember there being some, especially in 2, some really brutal stages late game.
Oh yeah. Say hello to the cylinders. And the half cylinders, which are even worse.
To some degree, it almost ends up feeling like it's less pure difficulty and more just luck, because I mean, it's not complete. It's if you know what you're doing, you know how the physics work. It's not completely luck, but it becomes very experiment. Like you have to keep trying and experimenting with different solutions.
That makes sense. Like honestly, I don't think I ever found the cylinders that bad. I don't remember having too much trouble with like Master 7, for instance.
Yeah. See, I don't remember too much because this is years.
Well, I mean, like it also sounds like this isn't exactly your game.
No, I'm not into. I'm more into games that there's. As someone who grew up with really bad coordination issues, I've never been fond of games that require a lot of technical skill and input.
Well, I had bad coordination too, and I got along just fine.
But I don't know if it's just like the coordination stuff. If there's like,
it also requires a certain level of spatial awareness.
Yeah, no. See that's the thing. I have really bad spatial awareness, and that's why I have trouble playing first-person shooters.
Oh, there's a genre I meant to touch but never did.
Like the only first-person shooter game I've ever completed is Portal 1 and 2. And that's
I did Portal 2.
Yeah. But
not Portal 1, but I think Portal 1 is a part of Portal 2. Like, aren't the opening levels in Portal 2 exactly the same as Portal 1?
Yeah, it's kind of the. I mean, it's not the entirety of Portal 1. It reuses some stages, but with different aesthetic.
So I've basically played Portal 1.
Kind of. Portal 1's its own experience that's worth playing, especially if you want to hear all of GLaDOS's quips. Portal 1 is also a bit more better of a concise story than 2. 2 has more memes, is generally funnier, but when you sit down and think about it, 1's kind of got the better story.
I've only played 2, so I haven't even seen 1, so I don't have any room to judge.
If you like 2, you'll like 1. That's all I've got to say. Yeah.
So are we all monkey balled out?
Yeah, I think we're a bit monkey balled out. I wonder.
Make sure to listen to those Silva Gunner soundtracks where he does rips on the Portal ending songs that everyone remembers.
I need to I should take a listen to those.
No, I mean yes, they're fine. They're just memey.
Yeah. Well, exactly why I should listen to them is because they're memey.
Did someone say memey?
Meme. Oh, monkey ball.
Hey!
It's not over yet, guys. Everything's monkey ball.
Everything is monkey ball.
Welcome back to Monkeys in a Landfill with your host, Super Monkey Ball Adventure, Super Monkey Ball 2, and Super Monkey Ball Remastered. Today we'll be talking about Super Monkey Ball.
So what's your favorite Super Monkey Ball?
I have never played any of them.
I like Super Monkey Ball 2 and Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. Super Monkey Ball Deluxe should have been way better than it was, but eh.
Yeah, I distinctly remember liking 2 quite a bit.
Because of the baby levels?
Yeah. No. Okay. You know what I really loved about Super Monkey Ball 2? The mini games.
Oh. I liked the top row.
Yeah. As considering I struggled so much with regular Monkey Ball because of the spatial awareness stuff, I really dug the take on like how they took classic types of mini games and made it like turned it into Monkey Ball versions of them.
Oh yeah, Monkey Race is great. Monkey Target's great. I liked Monkey Golf too.
Yeah, I remember liking Monkey Baseball quite a bit.
Baseball was okay. It takes a while though.
Yeah, no, but I'm the type of person who really enjoys the Mario baseball games. So, and those can go on for a while.
Yeah, that's my main problem with all of the bottom row games is that they just take so long, with the exception of Monkey Boat and Monkey Shot.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk to me about Monkey Boat. I fucking don't like that.
I think I dug it. I didn't like Monkey Shot too much.
I loved Monkey Shot.
Yeah. I think I played it a lot, but I was never fond of it. I don't know, maybe I just don't like those types of games.
Apparently rail shooters are my jam.
Yeah.
Because I remember having a lot of fun with those.
Maybe it wasn't Monkey Shot. Which one was the one where you shot the monkey out of the can and then you try to get it to fly down onto
out of a cannon. That's
was it
Super Monkey Ball Adventure.
You know, that explains it. Yeah. And it's an Super Monkey Ball Adventure minigame, so of course I remember not liking it.
Well, no, because Monkey Cannon was the best that was the best adventure minigame. Fight me.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you it's not the best. That's the only one I remember from Adventure.
Like the one where you're shooting down other people's castles?
No, not that one. That one's amazing. No, in one of the games there was a mini game where you shot him out of a cannon and there was a target on the ground and you try to get closer to the, like, depending on where you landed, there was a certain amount of points you got.
Okay, that's Target. And that's only the Banana Blitz version of Target where you shoot yourself out of a cannon. That's what threw me off.
Okay. Oh, maybe what do you
roll
usually...
down a ramp?
Oh, that's why. God.
Banana Blitz version of Target is fucked.
Okay, well, on the bright side, this has brought up another game that I remembered that I hate, but we need to talk about D2 before.
Do we have to? We could just keep talking about Super Monkey forever.
Nah, I'm good. I'm monkey balled out. I just wanted to bring up the mini games.
Double monkey, monkey, cross the sky.
Okay. I'll just leave it this. Have you guys played Adventure Island?
I have never even... Wait, I think I've vaguely heard of this, but I can't remember what it is.
Okay, so there's a game... I think it's called Adventure Island. There's a GameCube game where you create monsters and play mini games with them. And it's got like an anime-esque story to it. And...
So Neopets?
One sec. No, it's not... Okay, it's not called Adventure Island. What was... Fuck.
Adventure Island that's a totally different game where you play as some fat old man who eats a lot of food.
Oh, that's why I would have heard of. That's why I heard of that. Okay.
Amazing Island. That's it.
Amazing Island.
Yes.
So Neopets?
Yeah, I mean it's essentially what you do is you make monsters and you play like it's a 3D game where you make monsters. There's like this tool you can use to create things, or you can use pre-made monsters. You throw them into mini games. And they were mostly trash and had a lot to, like, it was mainly just button pressing to go faster. But I just wanted to...
Okay. But this is the burning question that everyone's going to want answered.
Mm-hmm.
How possible is it to make a dick monster?
Probably pretty possible because there's a tool that you can use to I'm actually pretty sure the Game Grumps played it and made a dick monster.
Nice.
For the record, I did not want to know that because I am not amused by dick monsters.
Yeah. So the main reason I'm bringing it up is because there's a lot of things I like about this game, but there's a certain mini game that you the conceit is you have your monster run down a ramp, jump off it, and then skip across water, and you have to get so far to win. and fuck that game because timing the skips on the water is bullshit.
Is it like the game registering inputs is more like Blue Sky suggestions than commands?
Well, it's a mixture of that, and you have to what you do is you push down on you have to flick the GameCube analog stick up and down to do the skips.
Oh, so big levels in Sonic Adventure 1.
Yeah. It's like as you come down onto the water, you have to flick it down and flick back up. Or something like that. And it was just bullshit. I eventually beat it until I got to one of the later game stages for that, and I just said, fuck this.
No, you cannot make me.
Yeah. Amazing Island's trash, so we'll just... I have an excuse to put the boy from the box art in the... what's called...
thumbnail?
The thumbnail, yeah. So yeah, expect a Amazing Island boy. Here, I'll send it to you guys to be in the.
How can they expect it if they see the thumbnail before watching the video?
What can you say? Sorry, my computer was making a bunch of stupid noises.
How can they expect to see it if they already saw it because they have to see the thumbnail before they start watching the video?
Yes. Well, no, I'm just gonna cut out the boy, and they're not gonna remember what the boy is from. And then when I say bring up Amazing Island, and I tell them this, they're gonna look at the thumbnail and they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, that's terrible." Funnily enough, the box art actually makes it look worse than the game actually looks.
The box art looks worse than the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would rather write a fan fiction than play that game.
Oh yeah, no, it's literally just a bunch of shitty mini games with monsters you create.
Okay.
And by create, I mean there's certain presets, and you can change how the 3D model, you can define how the 3D model.
You can change their color.
Yeah, you can add textures, change in 3D models, and put costume things on costume bits on them. And different depending on how you build them will affect their stats for the mini games.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a terrible game, but it holds a nice place in my heart, and that's why I hate the water skipping mini game so much.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure the Game Grumps got pretty stuck on that for a while. I'm pretty sure.
So anyways, is it time for the main event?
Yes.
I think the main event just ended.
No, we need to talk about D2 because if there is a game
I don't even know a game called D2. I've never heard of it before. Yeah. I know of a game called DX2, excuse you, but I don't know any D2 games.
When it comes to names that have an X in it, the Japanese don't pronounce the X. It's just there as a visual thing. That's why, for example, Hunter x Hunter has an X in the middle, but you just say Hunter x Hunter.
I say Hunter x Hunter.
I didn't know
so does Toonami. So does Toonami, I'll have you know.
Yeah, that's because you're supposed to not say the X. The X is kind of just it's kind of like a silent flavor text that the Japanese like to do with their names because they don't understand English letters.
No, they don't understand what the X stands for. That D and that 2, they're
Yeah.
They're romantically involved.
Well, no. What it's saying? It's D times 2 because it's digital. It's Devil Downloader or something like that, or Demon Download. So
it's double decking.
Yeah, double dick. It's for double decking.
Oh,
I said double.
Double. So it's the DX2 is D times 2 because it's instead of putting DD, they wanted to make it all fancy.
So is this a mathematical equation? Do I have to find the variable?
Yes, you have to find D. Find the D.
All right, Tar, since you have not played this game, your mission until we're finished is to find out what the D equals.
Yes.
D equals despair.
No, actually it equals 4.
I mean, you're not wrong.
The alphabet, so DX2 actually is 8.
Yes. D2 definitely inspires despair in the player.
Oh boy. I've seen snippets of discussions of this game that you two have had, but I've never actually played this game myself, so this should be a fucking treat.
Okay.
You know what is actually surprising? Before we begin, DX2 is the most timely topic we've had on this podcast because it's actually somewhat relevant.
Yeah, so we might actually get people to watch this episode.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's horrifying.
Yep,
it's a horrifying prospect.
Well, and I'm gonna put timestamps in the comments. Like I'm gonna pin a timestamp comment saying this is when we talk about this. This is when we talk about this, because there's gonna be people who just want to hear our thoughts on D2.
Can you put a timestamp for when they should stop watching? And it's right at the very beginning of the video. It's 00.
Well, it's 00:01 because 1 second's long enough for you to realize this is trash, and you should be wasting your time.
You mean the gaudy orange backdrop wasn't enough?
I thought it was like that on purpose. It was supposed to be a landfill, Tar. Come on, don't you get satire?
No. I love just how non-YouTube the thumbnail looks. Like,
it looks pretty YouTube.
Yeah, well, it looks older YouTube, not like this prim and polished normal. Like I'm talking about the color, like the color design.
Oh, you did that gradient on purpose, you bastard.
I did that gradient on purpose. Of course I did.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck me.
Sorry, I'm in a graphic design class and I'm being taught that gradients are bad.
Yeah,
I just cut out there, but who cares?
Yeah, you're the one who's in the graphic design class, and I was one that made the thumbnail.
Well, I'll probably make us a logo sooner or later.
Yeah. Granted, what do you think of the composition of those thumbnails?
You're acting like I know anything about art.
No, I'm pretty proud with how I compose the thumbnails, and what my whole thing with the gradient of the gradient is it's like the sun setting on a forgotten landfill.
Who remembers the landfill?
Yeah, the gradient moves across colors horizontally instead of vertically.
Yeah, well, this gradient actually is diagonal.
Hang up.
We'll never talk about DX2. My evil plan worked. Take that, all you people who wanted to listen to our thoughts on DX2. There's no timestamp in this video.
Quick, DX2.
Okay, quick DX2. So DX2 is a game from the Shin Megami Tensei series. And
no, it's not.
I hesitate to say it's a Shin Megami Tensei game because it's kind of, but not really. It's, I don't know. Dizzy, do you want to explain D2?
I don't. Where do I even begin with this train wreck? Okay,
oh boy, here it comes.
This
is what you were waiting for, Try.
Actually, how about this? I'm gonna pull up
No, it's like
I'm gonna pull up an actual summary of D2, and I'm gonna see what
Dizzy
has to say about that.
Oh
the
boy.
thing is, okay, that's actually a good idea. Do that, because I was gonna say I definitely hate DX2. It drives me insane, but at the same time, I don't feel anger. I feel just
apathy.
Oh no.
And it's one of those things where you knew it was going to be bad, but not this bad.
I called it before the game even came to the United States. From the very first trailer, I pointed at that and I said, that does not look like a Shin Megami Tensei game at all.
No, it doesn't even look like a Persona game, because Persona and Shin Megami Tensei don't really have the same aesthetic. But Jesus Christ. I am ashamed that the the character designs were made by the guy who did the Ace Attorney character designs, because the Ace Attorney character designs are some of the most memorable from gaming history that I have.
Well, Ace Attorney designs are also striking because they're very simple. Phoenix Wright has the very distinct blue suit, but if you think about it, it's just a blue suit, but it looks very striking the way the character's presented. In DX2, everyone in DX2 is overemphasized in every category. You got the guy with the bear jacket with the sleeves and the abs and the tattoos and the crazy hair, and he's got this other hair underneath his first hair and the fingerless gloves, and he does the poses and stuff, and it's no.
They're all over designed in a really unappealing way.
Megakin is the worst. He has those hideous goggles on that big stupid afro, and he has the red jacket with his self-promotion T-shirt with his shoes that don't match his pants. That does the crazy poses, and it's like, no.
Okay. So I'm gonna.
I need to look at these.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the 2 paragraphs from the Shin Megami Tensei Wikia, and there's gonna be and I'm just gonna see what you think. Shin Megami Tensei Liberation D2, styled as Shin Megami Tensei Liberation DX2 as the app name, is a role-playing game for iOS and Android. The story centers around a protagonist and their role as a devil downloader, DX2, who joins the Liberators in their fight against the Acolytes. The game scenario was written by Makoto Fukami. Character designs were done by Tatsuro Iwamoto. Shin Megami Tensei D2 is the first Atlus game to be developed and published by Sega, ever since it subsidized Atlus. However, the latter is overseeing the lore of the game. It was shown during the 2017 Tokyo Game Show with a special VR presentation in the Sega booth. The game was initially released in Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau, but was released in the other countries over time. An augmented reality mode was added after the game's launch. And here's a thing for the plot. The player is a member of the Secret Liberators organization in Akihabara and becomes involved in the conflict between devil downloaders. The Liberators opposes another devil downloader faction known as the Acolytes, who serve a being called Vanitas.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I'm not going to read all the fucking characters.
Okay, Tar, I'm gonna ask you because you're a non-party. You're a non-involved third party.
Okay.
That sounded, I imagine, to you very simple, right? Just very, like, almost objective.
There's the conflict
almost
between
like the 100% objective review.
There's a conflict between the Liberators and the fucking Acolytes. That's all that was basically said there, correct?
Sorry, hold on. You guys back?
Yeah, yes. We're back. Yeah, you got kicked for some reason because of your internet.
My RTC, yeah. But I was going to say, sorry, that sounded just very normal, I imagine. That just sounded like a very standard plot synopsis, right?
We just know there's a conflict between the fucking Acolytes and the downloader people, and it sounds like you're a part of the downloader people.
Yeah, okay. That information was actually inaccurate. As simple as it was actually inaccurate. It says it focuses on the main character's...
It sounds like Try is indirectly confirming this.
Yeah, it says in that you as the main character are involved in these, like, Liberators fight against the Acolytes and stuff.
Yes.
But the player character of the game, your chosen protagonist, is the least important character in the story, and everything the main characters do to fight the Acolytes.
Garbage truck outside. That's
oh no.
And Dizzy got kicked again.
I wasn't having this much trouble before, and I'm having trouble now. Discord doesn't want me to talk about this.
It's D2 in Super Monkey Ball Adventure. It's the deadly duo, the D2.
Basically, I don't know. Okay, that was a good one. I don't know how much of that you heard, Tar, but basically the main character, the player character of DX2, is the least important person to the plot, and
that sounds lovely.
The main character and the Liberators, everything they do to try to fight the Acolytes is completely meaningless, and the Acolytes themselves are completely meaningless, and they also don't serve Ventus. So
I think it's Vanitas. It's
Vanitas. Yeah. So basically, that entire plot synopsis is a lie.
Yeah.
Tries confirming this.
Yeah, it's essentially the main character only serves to beat the big bad bosses at the end of each stage because you're the protagonist, and even so,
no.
It hardly matters.
The main character is the butt monkey of the group. Everyone
he is.
Everyone
because the main character has no personality because it's supposed to be like a pure it follows that Shin Megami Tensei thing of you got to have the silent protagonist who
every single. But every single character in the game frequently insults your character over and over and over again.
It's an incredibly mean-spirited game that doesn't trust it doesn't trust the reader to be older than 13.
It's not even a power fantasy because it depowerizes and insults you for playing the game. Every single character in the game without... There's only one... The only character...
Jesus Christ, Tar. You're gonna have to You're gonna have to go take care of this right now.
There's nothing I can do. It's a garbage truck. Garbage truck.
This is a landfill. This is a landfill. There are no garbage trucks in landfills ever.
Can you not accept that the universe does not want us to talk about DX2? It's cutting out my connection more than ever. The garbage truck is coming. I think it's Sega. Sega doesn't want us exposing the truth.
Yeah. Damn it, Sega, I've been loyal to you for so long. Why do you betray me now?
You said that Sega was the ones who this was the first game they officially oversaw, and I believe that.
Well, yeah, no.
This feels like a Sonic game. This feels like a Sonic game.
Well, Sega developed and produced the game while Atlas only supervised the lore.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, you can. This is not a Shin Megami Tensei game. This is what a corporation thinks a Shin Megami Tensei game is.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, everyone's cutting out now.
Yeah.
This is the best podcast.
Best podcast.
Well, and welcome back to the Cutout Cast. My name's Trybien. No one else can hear me.
Well, everyone can hear you except for the hosts.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be an interesting podcast where we're all just like
guessing what the others
we all
saying.
Just keep.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, it would be terrible.
None of us would talk because we'd just keep waiting for someone else to talk.
Exactly.
Oh no, it just turned into 2 hours of me just rambling about bullshit.
Good. That's better 2 hours spent than most of the other ones.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyways, Tar, all the villains in DX2 are incredibly one-dimensional, scum of the earth. I am doing all of the evil things you can possibly imagine.
Wait,
every single villain is just the spawn of Satan. I love torturing humans because I'm evil and humanity sucks, and I love sticking my dick in all these people who don't want it and shit.
But you're forgetting the main bad that we haven't beat yet after Chapter 6. He just loves the earth and the earth and nature so much that he just wants to destroy humanity.
He's an idiot.
Wait, hang on.
Not like. Tar, I don't want to try. I don't want to get into this right now. Not yet.
I can't believe that Santa Claus is a D2 villain.
Yeah.
Sticking his dick in Try's eyes.
That's exactly right.
I took pictures actually. I took pictures of this.
Wait! If Santa is sticking his dick in my eyes?
No.
It's in front of your eyes.
He's a flasher, not a rapist, you fool.
Oh man.
This is your legacy, Dizzy.
Okay, well, we're kicked off of YouTube now.
We are. It was a good run.
Good run.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was a half-hearted attempt.
A half-hearted attempt.
Okay, let me talk about Captain Hippie Imbecile Man, who is.
Wait, hang on. I have the character list brought up. Which one is he?
He's probably not going to show up on the character list.
Let me check. I took a couple screenshots. I took less screenshots than I thought I did. His name is Joshua. Oh yeah, name drop spoiler.
Dude with the fucking parka without sleeves, purple, pink pants with the two-tone hair. No. He has a bicep tattoo.
I think you might be looking at him too far in the game because this is before he becomes a demon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, he's a demon?
Well, no, he fuses
all
with
Shin Megami Tensei villains become demon or angels at some point.
Oh.
It's just part of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, anyways, he was the part where I completely lost my mind because not only was he like, oh God, where do I even start with this?
I don't even know.
He was the part of the game. He was the villain that basically came out and told you that no one was thinking at all when they made this game, and that nothing you've been doing this whole time made any sense, and that there is no sense at all, or context, or train of thought.
Like he tells you this directly, or
no?
Just,
but he
or
no,
just
no. But he
games?
basically says that.
I was gonna say, does he like break the fourth wall? Because at
that
this
would
point,
be
I
funny.
wouldn't put it past it.
That would be actually funny, Try. But no, let me explain.
Try.
The very first.
Shit, that was Tar. That was Tar.
I said Tar. What the heck? All right, let me explain this.
Get your T names mixed up.
Let me explain this step by step. The very first villain is some show producer who wants to kidnap he's pretending to set up YouTube videos of people dancing so he could kidnap them and then murder them because he's an asshole. The second villain is possessing people with demons to kill other people's, and he wants to possess certain people with demons to control them to make them join the Acolytes, and he's also a plagiarist. The third villain is possibly the worst, actually. She's taken over the school, and she's making the video club members kill each other, record themselves kill each other, put it on the internet, and then the person who just killed someone else is the next target victim, which is freaking horrifying.
Isn't she the only villain that doesn't even have real character art? She's just another faceless.
She's actually a dead body who was possessed. The actual teacher was murdered and then possessed with a demon corpse. So she wasn't even evil. She was just a puppet.
So one thing I gotta know is, who's this chick with the 2 cinnamon buns in her hair?
She's a lesbian, and she will make you remember that every other line she says.
Her entire personality is, I'm a lesbian.
What?
Anyways, the fourth villain is a human trafficker. I'm just gonna flat out say it. And the fifth villain is this guy again, Mr. Joshua, who is the crazy hippie man. But here's the thing, though. All of the things I mentioned before are actually pretty horrible. The killing, the possession, and all this stuff. And some of them, too, like the person who was possessing people and the person who was making the snuff films and stuff, they claim they were doing that to recruit more people to the Acolytes, like the most depraved people for some reason. Remember this. It's important.
Okay, so all the villains are doing this because we're recruiting Acolytes.
Yes, and remember, the Acolytes serve this Ventus creation god. Vanitas, yeah. Oh, these
Ventus
are important
factors.
factors.
Thing.
Shit, fuck. God damn it.
Remember that the Acolytes serve this. The Acolytes serve this unknown entity, and more people want to join the Acolytes. And also, too, I should mention, the first 2 villains mentioned that their lives were in the dumps, and then they sold their soul to Vanitas or whoever, so they got power and wealth and stuff, and that's why they serve him. And
okay, standard deal with the devil fare.
Okay,
go on.
Yeah.
Standard devil dealing, D2 things, go on.
And then, the worst thing ever happens. In Chapter 5... this crazy hippie man shows up, and he explains what Vanitas is, and everything just completely falls apart. Someone made the Golden Gate Bridge out of toothpicks, and then a strong wind came. Just everything just completely falls apart once you know what Vanitas is, because none of it makes sense.
Yeah, no. I mean, calling it the Golden Gate Bridge made out of toothpicks is already giving it too much credit than it already
Popsicle sticks.
It's more like a shoddily put together.
It's a metaphor.
I know. It's more like a shoddily put together card castle, like a castle made out of playing cards.
Okay, so
your
after you've eaten 5 pixie sticks.
After you've eaten 5 pixie sticks, and when your dick brother comes in and knocks the table over because he's a dick. That's essentially what happens.
Okay, so let me explain what Vanitas is, and here's a big spoiler warning for anyone who somehow still is playing this game, enjoying this game.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Vanitas, whatever it is it's described, I don't even know what it is, honestly. It's described as both an entity, as an intelligence, and as a machine. Like a tool kind of machine, like a wrench or a hammer. And it's said that it has the ability to judge human souls, to judge the value of human souls. And the guy says, if a smart person uses Vanitas, it can save the world, and if a dumb person uses it, it'll bring ruin. And he literally describes it as a calculator. And in my head, all these questions are racing, like, what does any of that mean? If you're saying its only power is to judge the weight of human souls, how does it bring either like goodness to the earth or destruction. How did it give these guys wealth and fame and power? Why does it want more acolytes? What does it want acolytes for? Okay, it's a calculator? Is it alive? Is it alive? Is it alive? Does it have an agenda? Or is it just your agenda? Are you using this thing? What does it do?
It's the gay agenda all over again.
It has the power to judge human souls or to weight human souls. Okay, by whose metric? Whose value system? Who is it weighing these souls versus? What is its basis of comparison? How can it value one soul more than another soul? What is its metric? What is its system? How does it do these things? Okay. Why does it do these things? Why do you need more acolytes? Why do the acolytes serve this thing if it doesn't even apparently speak to them?
I want both of you to watch Psycho-Pass because this sounds like the Sybil system done entirely wrong. And I don't even particularly like how the Sybil system is used in Psycho-Pass, but at least it makes sense with the type of story they're trying to tell.
I haven't even told you my favorite part yet. Tar and Try, listen closely.
No. Oh no.
Really think about everything I just said right now about the villains who are murdering humans. The hippie man wants to destroy humanity because he says it'll save the world or some crap like that. The human trafficker, the possessed dead body who was forcing people to kill each other, record it, and put it on the internet to get more humans to join them. Think about
they're
all
serving
that.
This thing that arbitrarily weighs human souls. Although I imagine that it's going to weigh their souls pretty poorly.
Yeah, okay, and here's the best line in the entire game that drove me completely insane. Said to us by the main villain, Joshua Man, crazy hippie man.
Joshua
Humans probably don't even cross Vanitas' mind. Why did it do any of these things? Did it do any of these things? Or was it all just the acolytes? Humans don't cross its mind? Then why has it been destroying humanity?
There's that rage you wanted.
Yeah. I've kind of got a feeling what they're going for is Joshua is entirely wrong about this because Joshua only cares about nature and he values nature more than anything. I'm not saying this is exactly the case. I'm just trying to make as much of a defense as humanly possible. Like I'm playing devil's advocate for the hell of it.
How does he even
devil's
know
defense?
What this
you
thing
mean?
is talking
yeah, devil's
about?
defense D2.
I can't even. What were my exact words? I gave Enigma my exact like first impressions.
I don't know where it is. Is it in the VN chat? Is it in the Bros chat?
Here it is. I found it. Yeah. Oh, I lost it. Hold on. Where is it? But like it, I'm gonna just. I don't even know. Where is this?
My mouse keeps dying.
I think we could probably talk more about the pod about D2 at another time because that's a really fun conversation to have. That
I'm not having fun.
No, because what I want to bring up is what really killed D2 for me. Like I can get through that shit, like that shitty story. I was having fun. There's some absolutely hilarious bits in there, but the gameplay loop is.
Oh yeah, I forgot. One last thing before I stop complaining about Vanitas or whoever. Yeah, all that stuff that those people were doing, all that horrible stuff about possessing people with demons and forcing them to attack other people, and the ring of people killing each other, and the human trafficking, the goddamn human trafficking.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, the Acolytes also have an inexhaustible supply of completely loyal, faceless, mindless servants called homunculus that will do whatever they want, including self-destruct at command.
Yeah,
so they don't even need humans.
You can. Yeah, no, just take the homunculus, turn them into bombs, and blow up society, and you win.
They don't need humans, and yet the entire first half of the game, it's a 6-chapter game, the first half of the game is dedicated to stopping a system that doesn't even need to exist in the first place.
Can I say, these 6 chapters are just about as long if not shorter than the prologue of Fake Grand Order. And when it released in America, we got 3 full chapters. Like this is not even an eighth of what we got in Fake Grand Order. So
it's a short game.
Yeah, well, it's not even it's not a complete story. It ends on a cliffhanger. I feel like they could have easily localized more before bringing it over.
So we're gonna have to wait for a D3.
Well, no, it's gonna be like chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9, whatever. It's probably gonna go on until everybody realizes it's a terrible game and they quit playing.
I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that either.
I'm not subjecting myself to that.
See, okay, Fake Grand Order isn't a perfect game, but it's not a pain in the ass to play, and like it's not a pain in the ass to level up, and the story is passable enough where, yeah, it's got stupid moments, but it's not insulting your intelligence when you play it.
I think I said another thing, too, about actually, even if you were to somehow completely disregard the fact that every single character in the game, all of the heroes and all of the villains frequently hate and devalue the main character, despite the fact that you're the only person in the game who does anything, and even if you somehow ignore the fact that the villain's plan doesn't make any sense at all, and what they're after is basically non-existent, you cannot comprehend at all this level of stupidity, the actual gameplay is annoying, because the game has a consistently increasing difficulty curve, which sounds normal until you think about it. This is a curve where every single enemy, every single chapter, because the game's split into chapters or levels, every single stage, the enemies have a level increase, but your monsters don't always increase in level after every fight. So at first, you're leveling up, they're leveling up, you're killing monsters, until eventually, like a chapter will start with monsters at level 30, and it will end with monsters at level 45. Meanwhile, your monsters are at level 30, and about halfway through the chapter, you'll suddenly notice that you're being mobbed by monsters that are way stronger than your monsters. So then you have to grind, and grinding takes forever.
Well,
and
it's not even a matter of grind, the grinding, because that's going to be the case in these types of mobile games, is you're going to have to grind to complete the story. It's that the character and demon progression makes no sense, because it feels like there's a lot of, you can tell there's a lot of, this isn't Shin Megami Tensei, we have to throw it in. You can negotiate with demons, you can fuse them, but we also need to have the gacha mechanics where you can summon them, and in Shin Megami Tensei, demons can inherit skills, so we got to put a system in there for skill inheritance.
Well, the thing too is that every demon in the game the game works by a rank system, and every rank has a level cap, and you can increase a demon's rank by sacrificing more demons to it to increase its level cap, but in doing so, you reset the demon's levels, and they start back from level 1. So that's the other problem too, where whenever you rank up a demon, it will then become level 1, have no good stats, and then you have to grind it back up again.
This is the best podcast in the world.
Hold on.
Starring Dizzy.
Am I back?
Yes, you are.
And another thing I was talking about, I made mention of this. I made mention of this way back when all of us first started playing the game, when I unlocked
all of us.
Archangel Michael.
I understand what you mean, but still, I have to be petty.
I unlocked the Archangel Michael by absolute accident, and then I made a comment where I said, in any other game, this would be awesome. But in DX2, DX2 has the most bizarre balancing problem.
Yeah.
In that it's super balanced to a self-defeating degree. Because any demon will work, hence, there's no reason to get rid of your starting demons. Just keep using them and leveling them up. And all the big demons, they don't matter.
I was gonna say, wasn't there a game where you got by using only a Jack Frost?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I have a max level Jack Frost that is trading blows with Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies, and he won.
Yeah, the only
I don't know. Is Jack Frost the weakest demon?
He's incredibly weak. He's super low level.
He's a low level meme demon because he's the mascot of Shin Megami Tensei. That he's the one demon that's been in every single Shin Megami Tensei game ever.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's
But he's low level.
He's a very early game demon. He's very low rank. Game demon. He's a rank 7 demon, which means he has terrible stats. But because the game is bizarrely too balanced, he can trade blows with literally Lucifer and win.
But that can also come to a weird negative standpoint where, like, you have a team of really strong demons, you go up against a bunch of, like, rank 2 demons, and then they wipe your ass just because of team composition.
Well, my team has no weaknesses because my Jack Frost has no weaknesses.
Yeah, well,
and my Pirate Jack has no weaknesses. And that's the other thing, too. Like, in other Shin Megami Tensei games, bigger demons had better resistances, nullifications, absorbs, better skills or better stats, better base levels. But in this game, it's just a waste of resources. Why should I spend, like, 300,000 mag, which is a lot, to get a Sun Wukong with no nullifications and 2 weaknesses when I can spend 7 mag, literally 7 mag, on a Jack Frost that I can then give the skill Resist Fire, have 2 resistances and no weaknesses, and then easily power up.
Yeah, that's more than I found really bizarre. Well, another big thing about the resistances is to inherit the resistances. You need it's got this bullshit. With the skill transfer system that you can only use demons of the same. Right. I think you need to build skill points either by using demons of the same level or using special items.
No, like that's another thing too. The skill point system, where you can sacrifice demons of the same rank as the original rank of the demon you're sacrificing them to get 1 skill point, or 2 skill points if you sacrifice one of the same kind of demon into it. This is important because Jack Frost is rank 1. Rank 1 demons are super easy to get your hands on. Meanwhile, for that rank 4 Sun Wukong, why should I spend an incredibly valuable and incredibly expensive rank 4 demon to give 1 point to my Sun Wukong when I can just pour a bunch of useless demons into my Jack Frost and then slap him down with a Bufudine, which, if you don't know, is one of the strongest ice attacks in the game.
The only way to get around this is by going to the Asura Gate and stumbling upon fallen players playing with their team against a battle that they've lost, and hoping that the soul you get from it is one that you can use for your demons.
Exactly.
And so it's
or you can pay, no joke, listen to this. I mean, Tar, listen to this. Okay. I hope you're listening right now.
I am.
You can pay a small microtransaction of, are you ready for it? $47.99 for items that give you 1 skill point.
Yeah. What?
Yep.
EA?
Are you sold yet, Tar?
Sega!
Are you sold?
When did Sega become EA?
When they got their hands on Atlas.
No, Tar.
That's exactly
This is not EA, because you're actually getting the thing that you're paying for instead of a loot box.
So
these
Japanese companies can get away with it because
it is a whole 1% less scummy, a whole single percent.
Well,
$47.99.
I thought loot boxes were Blizzard's thing.
EA doesn't too. No, they're fighting a battle in Belgium right now to keep them in their games.
These Japanese companies can get away with it because the only people really playing these games in the Asian market are your otakus and your neets, and those are the type of people who would put a lot of money into these games anyways.
Oh, and by the way, DX2
they can get away with it over there, where the Western companies over here, they don't. Because there's a broader market, we don't put up with that shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The other thing too, I forgot to mention. This is a small gripe in comparison to everything else I've been talking about.
My
DX2 had an update, I say in quotes, and it said, click this link here to get the update, and the link took me to DX2's webpage, which is not where you install the update. You install the update from the App Store.
Yeah.
So that link got me nowhere. Yeah. And the update, as far as I can tell, only made 1 change that I actually liked, and everything else I couldn't even tell the difference for. However, certain things that did change or didn't change were my phone will now frequently tell me that DX2 has stopped working, even when it's not turned on.
Fake Android does that to me all the time. Though recently, it hasn't been doing it as much. I wonder if it's a performance or like if it's an Android. Are you playing it on Android or iPhone?
Android. Oh,
okay. And I wonder if there's a thing with Android, because that happens with games sometimes with maybe like an Android version or whatever.
And my favorite little glitch that I've been noticing since the very beginning, even after the update, is a special little thing where for some reason all text and pictures in the game will just completely not spawn in or load. Mm-hmm. So you will just be looking at the screen. Buttons will still work when you press them, but you have to press them based on memory because none of the text or icons or anything has spawned in. You can't even see whose turn it is.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it just keeps happening. Oh, and guess what too, Tar? Remember those microtransactions I told you about that cost tons and tons of money, like $47.99? No, I will not start harping on that. When it doesn't say how much money it costs, you won't know when you push the button.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, DX2. What's that? You just gave us $50? Should have read the fine print, pal. Oh, it's not there? Well, tough luck.
Yeah. Was I the one cutting out there, or was that?
I couldn't hear anything you said, Try.
Okay, I was singing "There Goes Dizzy Claus."
Dizzy Claus. Yep. Yeah. That's me.
I'll edit. I'll just throw that in the editor.
This is why I didn't want to talk about DX2, because I think, Try, when you think of me being angry, you think of like the nostalgia critic where he's screaming and everything's funny and silly. But when I get angry, I just get angry. I'm mad at DX2. I am actually mad at this game. I hate it. Well, not in a funny way. I'm not like silly. No. I'm upset with this game.
Okay. So I'm gonna just say this right here. I've never really yes, I liked watching Nostalgia Critic, and that was a terrible example for me to use. I really like this type of like picking apart like all the things you dislike, like not even for comedic value. I just I find that type of thing very enjoyable. One of my favorite things to watch are when people are because I feel Nostalgia Critic anger is more of an act. It's more of a I'm getting angry for show, and to some degree, Aaron from Game Grumps, yes, he gets real anger, but because he's trained as a comedian and he's a funny guy, he can be funny and tear things apart. But I don't know. I've had a lot of fun listening to you just tear it apart. It gets you thinking. I don't know. It gets me thinking.
It's one of the worst games I think I've ever played.
Yeah, no,
really, because it's offensive, it's insulting, and worst of all, it doesn't even really work. The game itself has a litany of glitches and problems that don't work.
Yeah, this is why I part of the reason why I'm as mad about D2 as I am is I never had high expectations or high hopes. I was just, cool, it's a Shin Megami Tensei game that's going to be on my phone. I hope I like it, knowing full well that the chances that I don't play many mobile games. The only one I've consistently played is Fake Grand Order, and that because that tickles a certain itch. I came
into DX2 for a reason that was never even fulfilled for me, because like I said, when I first saw the game, I thought this is going to be crap, but you were playing it, Enigma was playing it, and I thought about another phone game I played, Duel Links, and I thought the best part about Duel Links was being able to duel friends as characters from the show. DX2, as another one of its major problems, has no human interaction whatsoever.
Yeah. It does that thing where you just face AI of another person's team, which is kind of garbage.
Or have an AI of their chosen demon. Yeah, you can't fight other humans with your demon team. You can only fight AIs controlling demons that are the demons that they chose.
And
there's no player interaction. There's no PvP at all. the only human interaction is the chat room, and the chat room sucks because it's a phone game chat room.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten the achievement for posting in the chat room?
No, but I took a look in that chat room, and like on the first day, this was back when I was in Hawaii. This was before I even came home. I went into the chat room, and there was like a huge fight about the LBGT, I think it was, and I was like, "Nope, I'm out."
The best experience I've had with other players is reading the review, like, because like you can leave reviews for demons and like advice. Reading the demon reviews and advice for Alice. Because it's just people memeing. It was just people memeing, and it was chuckle-worthy.
Whenever I checked the demon review in the compendium, I just found rows and rows and rows of basically the exact same thing being said about the demon. Like Gurma Tengu, for example, was just people saying toot, or people going, Trumpet Man loves to trumpet.
Yeah, I mean, all Alice ones were just like, oh, don't loot the lollies, and making jokes about protecting Alice, or saying that I die for Alice because of her.
By the way, remember Templar Dragon? Yeah, apparently she canonically has not only a Nekomata, but an Alice and a Joan of Arc. I say F that. No, she doesn't.
Yeah, no.
Nope, you don't deserve those demons.
The only advantage that the high-ranking demon have are sometimes they'll have highly specific moves that can't be transferred, such as Alice's Die for Me, which, assuming that the enemy doesn't have not like a death null or death reflect, will instantly kill any demon.
Oh, speaking of like
that sounds overpowered.
No, that's actually her normal skill. She always had that since the very beginning.
Well, no, that is.
Die for Me
what I'm saying is,
Die for Me was actually a staple of the series. It's been her signature move since Shin Megami Tensei 2.
Yeah, no, that's. What I'm talking about is the higher ranked demons, such as Alice, have these specialized moves that only they have, and that's where their benefit comes from.
But
sorry, she'll only ever be good if you can get like a null, like null holy attacks on her.
Which you can't, but you can get a resist light by trading it in from a 5-star demon if you're willing to sacrifice 8.
Being a dude.
If you're willing to sacrifice 8 of your other 4-star demons. So yeah, just be great about that. But another thing I was going to mention too is that a lot of the balancing in this game just doesn't exist. You never went to the Aura Gate, did you, Tar? I mean, try.
No, I did the Aura Gate quite a bit.
How far did you get?
I think I got up to like somewhere in the 30s.
The 30s, really? The 30s is where I am now. I just finished. I just beat Baphomet.
Yeah, that's what Baphomet was work. I beat that, and I went on to the next floor.
Well, that's surprising to me that you didn't complain about this, but like, 2 problems I've had is like, 1, like enemies in the Aura Gate are ridiculous. 2, like the damage floors are driving me crazy. Because damage floors, as you imagine, you step on them, you take damage. Okay. But these damage floors give you no indication whatsoever that you're about to step on them until you stepped on them. Okay. And they can be like right next to each other in massive rows.
You know what the biggest problem with the Aura Gate is?
Yeah.
You can't heal outside of battle.
Yeah, so that's also a thing too.
Well, but no, it comes down like if you're walking against damage floors and then you get surprise attacked, you're fucked. There is nothing you can do.
And you have all these healing items. I had to like go into fights where I would like just spend my first demon's turn spamming life stones on my party, and then I'd spend the 10 points to escape from the fight. Yeah. And then sometimes I'd get hit with a whole bunch of damage floors, come up to the boss door, my team would have super low HP, and I couldn't just turn around because there was damage floors all over the place.
That goes into the second big problem. Like, I don't know if this is just a nitpick on my end. Whenever you turn a direction, assuming there isn't a wall there, it automatically makes you walk forward, rather than traditional Shin Megami Tensei, where you turn, you look, and then you push forward again to walk. No, it automatically assumes you want to walk where you've turned.
You can actually turn that off, admittedly.
What?
You can actually turn that off, admittedly, and as soon as I found out, I did that. Yeah.
Okay,
but it doesn't turn off. It doesn't turn off the back button though. You press the back button, and your character will still unlock.
I don't think that was in the initial release because I was messing around with those settings like on day 1. I think there may have been something they added in after day 1.
Well, I don't know, but I turned it off immediately, and I'm like so fucking done. Yeah. And a lot of the fights don't feel challenging because they don't feel fair. Like this enemy has just like you get attacked by a swarm of enemies that can nullify physical attacks and have a whole bunch of skills that you can't even teach to your demons.
Yeah. No, I mean
Baphomet. Yeah. Sorry, Baphomet drove me insane because he had an ability called Auto Debilitate, which went off at the start of every single turn. And Tar, I know you don't know what Auto Debilitate does because you don't play Shin Megami Tensei. It's also, Auto Debilitate is not a skill that is in any other Shin Megami Tensei game. But here's what Debilitate lowers all of your stats. So in Pokemon terms, because I know you've played Pokemon, imagine being hit with Growl, Leer, Sand Attack, and some other stat lower moves, automatically, without spending a turn, without your opponent spending a turn at the start of every single one of your turns, every single turn, all your stats go down, no matter what.
That's what lovely. Yeah, that's what Auto Debilitate. That.
Yeah, no, that's.
I won against that.
Shin Megami Tensei has always been a series that's kind of weird balance-wise, because it's always either been about making sure you have it's all about team composition, but it never felt unfair outside of time. Like outside of times you may have got surprise attacked and just instant killed, but it never felt like it was. It always felt like it was your own fault when you lost. And because of the gacha nature of Liberation, D2, it never feels like you have the tools to be able to get past the bullshit.
Well, that's the thing is that I've noticed, too, when I was talking earlier about the game is ironically too balanced for its own good, where I can just keep leveling up my Jack Frost, for example, and he can fight all these other demons, is that because any demon is viable, the boss demons have to be given BS skills and abilities to make them a challenge. Otherwise, again, my Jack Frost will just come in, boofoo down the place, and peace out. But then Baphomet's like, no, I have the power to not even spend a turn to lower all of your stats continuously. And it's like, can I have that skill? No.
Well, I really think it's less of a balance issue because if
they have to balance it against the player instead of just having a difficulty curve.
Okay, so the problem comes back to the fact of it being a free-to-play gacha game. It makes these boss battles and some of these encounters unreasonably fair especially if you're not paying attention, because for example you can I usually just put it on auto walk with the aura gate because it was I just didn't care, I just wanted to get through it, but I put on auto walk auto battle because I was already tuned out of the game at that point. The story was bullshit and I was just making progress, but because it's a gacha game, they want you to lose and expend the gems or whatever to be able to retry. They don't expect you to actually be able to beat it fairly without an extremely overpowered team. Because if they were, they would have made the game have made the game as difficult,
balanced.
Okay, Fake Grand Order
I just like to mention,
doesn't
I actually
really get difficult until Chapter 4 and Chapter 5.
Because I had a ridiculously overpowered team, so I could power through the BS.
You can beat a large majority
but it was still
of
ridiculously frustrating, and I had to use a bunch of revival
Fake Grand Order with a team mainly of just 3 stars and some 4 stars. Fake Grand Order is not that hard of a game. But
are we cutting out again?
With just a few fights sprinkled on there that are just kind of bullshit.
I can hear Dizzy.
Okay, I can hear. I might be the one that's been cutting out. I don't know.
So try. We need your help.
Try help.
But I can't hear Dizzy.
Try.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Fuck. Okay. I'm gonna put this entirely upon your internet service provider. Fuck you, Try's internet service provider.
That's for Verizon, and I'm paying like $90 a month for high-speed internet.
Fuck you, Verizon.
Yeah.
Vine.
Verizon. Usually my internet doesn't cause me this much problems. I wonder if it's also a traffic issue with Discord where I am. Because you said you're in Hawaii.
No, I was in Hawaii. I'm home now.
Okay, you're home now. Okay, you're home now. Okay. I wonder if half the problem is there's they have a East Coast server and a West Coast server. I wonder if maybe the problem lies somewhere with the server connections.
I mean, my RTC was frequently cutting out too, so
yeah.
I don't
it's
even
Discord.
know.
You can't expect the greatest internet connection all the time.
I don't even know. I'm like, I feel so out of breath after all this talking about DX2, but what's driving me insane is that DX2 is one of those games where I could talk about it for an hour, just ripping it apart, and then like we could stop talking about it, and then I could realize, oh wait, I forgot to talk about blank.
Well,
there's so much stuff in this game, I can't even remember what pissed me off until I really sit down and think about it.
Because D2 is an exercise of everything that you could possibly do wrong with a game.
It can't even get menus right.
No, you can't. Like the fucking okay. So you have the map and that's how you do the story mode and stuff, and then you have another menu to do like the free battles and whatnot. But to get to the character stories, you have to go into to get to the character stories into the free battles, you have to go into the map, and you have to go into the map, find where you want to go for the free battles, and it's
my problem with the game is that when I'm scrolling down the menu, sometimes the game will lag like crazy, and it's running on the slowest point. But here's the thing. The menus are touchscreen based, so sometimes it will interpret my scrolling as selecting a demon, and then I'll hit backspace, but then it will register my backspace because the backspace is always in the same spot no matter where you're on the screen. It'll register my backspace multiple times, and it will completely exit me out of what I was trying to do. So I'll have to re-enter the place I was just in, and then re-scroll down to where I just was, and hope it doesn't happen a second time.
Yeah, it's not optimized terribly well. Though then again, Sega mobile games aren't really known for being well designed.
Sega is not known for being well designed. You guys made a comment earlier when you were talking about Super Monkey Ball Adventure, where you were like, who would take a 2D game and make it 3D? And I was about to cough and say Sonic.
Wait, Super Monkey Ball was never 2D, though.
Yeah, it was never 2D.
So you said something about turning it into a 3D game, and I was thinking, like, yeah.
I like the 3D Sonics, though.
Yeah, no... Yeah, the three Sonics have the perfect amount of edge for me.
3D Sonic? Is this the part where we stop talking about DX2
no,
and
we're still
talking about Shadow the Hedgehog?
Okay, so low-key, Shadow the Hedgehog was part of my childhood, and I actually still kind of like it.
I drove myself crazy with Shadow the Hedgehog because I once devoted an entire week of my life to 100%ing the game.
Well, that's your problem. Well, that's your problem. You tried to 100% a game that has levels that...
I did. I succeeded, I'll have you know.
Of course you're going to hate the game.
It was... Shadow... You know what? I think I just figured out what this is. I was about to make a comment where I said Shadow the Hedgehog is too cool for DX2. And I just thought, was that this plan all along? Was Sega jealous of Atlas, so they're like, we're going to mess you up?
Shadow the Hedgehog is a devious dude, D2.
Shadow the Hedgehog is a moron, and he's too cool for DX2. And I'm thinking, is that what this whole plan was? Is it like people are making fun of Sonic too much, and Sega's like, all right, we're going to shift the blame. We're going to make Shin Megami Tensei the hot new thing to hate.
Because I just realized, like, how do you make Shin Megami Tensei not cool? Like, how do you fuck up that badly?
You have to lose the battle to win the war.
Yeah. Like, how do you fuck up that badly if it's not intentional?
I was given a comment once by a friend of mine who I was just talking... You guys don't know who this is. He's a friend of mine from high school. Mm-hmm. I was talking shit with him about DX2 because it was driving me insane, and it was also 3 a.m, and none of you were here. And I made I was talking to him about this game, and he looked and he said, like, hold on, he said, this sounds terrible, let me check something. And then I was like, okay. And then he came back and he said, yep, I was right. And I was like, what are you talking about? What did you check? And he said, like, he said, it really is a mark of no quality when a game is so bad they don't even make porn of it. And then And then I paused for a minute and I said, I'm not going to verify this.
Anyways, we should move on to the Q&A.
There is none.
You mean we're not going to talk about 3D Sonics?
No, that needs to be a whole conversation upon its own because I have fond memories of past 3D Sonics. Like,
I don't get to shit on Sonic and the Secret Rings in the same way everyone else has.
Excuse you?
Not contributing to anything in the conversation?
Excuse you? I was going to say I like Sonic and the Secret Rings, but if I went back and played it now, I'd be like, why the hell did I ever like this?
I just did the main campaign in 2 days using only base Sonic.
Oh.
You want to talk about someone who hates Sonic and the Secret Rings? There's a YouTuber for Vine Sauce called named Imakumi. She hates that game.
Yeah. Well, if you want to talk to someone who hates Sonic and the Secret Rings, you should go talk to Aaron Hansen because that's exactly what they're playing on Game Grumps right now.
I know, and that's what goaded me to try to beat it using only base Sonic.
Yeah.
I watched Game Grumps play Sonic Adventure, and then I thought, wow, this is horrifically unfunny. And then I made a snide remark when they started playing Sonic Unleashed, where I said, you're all getting your hopes up, but it's not going to be good. And then it wasn't good, and I was like, I was right. In fact, before we stop, I just want to take a quick little shot at Yahtzee Croshaw real fast.
Oh boy.
Yahtzee Croshaw, amongst many other critics, have made a comment that is completely incorrect. Where they've said like, when you're playing a game, go in with low expectations, because if it's good, you'll be pleasantly surprised, and if it's bad, you'll be able to snarkily say that you were right. That mentality is BS. Because if you have low expectations for a game, you wouldn't spend the $60 for the game, and you wouldn't play it.
Yeah.
Don't go into a game with you always have an expectation, that's why you play the game.
Well,
So it's a completely falsified mentality that is made by a person desperately trying to convince the world that he's smart.
Well, no, it's a common sentiment. I don't even think Yahtzee's the first person to say this. I've heard many people, and I think in a lot of ways it's a little bit more helpful in the age of all this, where you can pull up all this content online for free. When you have money at stake, yeah, it becomes a different topic altogether.
If you're rich, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to have low expectations, it's not actually. You should always expect that. You should always have high expectations for things that are made, in a sense that nothing like.
My point
you should always hope that something's good.
My point is,
but
you should never always.
You should.
Okay, sorry.
You should hope for it, but not expect it.
Yeah, and in today's society, where we have so much content being made, it's always a gamble. You can, whenever I go into something, even if it's from a franchise that I desperately like, if I go in with high expectations, even if I think it's really good, it can ruin the experience for me. Like, I can guarantee you I would have liked Psycho-Pass far more if I didn't have people have so many high praise, so many people saying it's a great anime. Because I can see the high qualities of it, but because of the nature of hype culture, and I think the going with low expectations, saying it's more of a counter of hype culture, because the more you hype yourself up for something, the more disappointed you're going to be in the end, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to actually enjoy you're not going to enjoy something as much as you expect to enjoy it.
Well, the thing about hype is that it's ironically completely overblown and overhyped, and like anything you go into, you're always going to have an expectation for, whether you think about it or not. Even DX2, I was thinking in my head, like, maybe I'll be wrong this time, and then I wasn't. Versus something you won't give any attention to whatsoever. You have no expectations for it. You don't care about it. It is not a factor of your life.
Yeah.
Hype itself is a thing that kind of factors itself into your brain, but you just kind of disguise it as other things without realizing it. Your reason for playing the game is itself an expectation. Even a bad game, you can run into it thinking, I'm expecting this to be entertainingly terrible, and then you play it and you're like, wow, this was just bad.
Yeah. No, it really comes down to how much you're willing to gamble. because essentially whenever you purchase media, it's always a gamble because you never really know if you're going to enjoy it or not.
But you always have a hope or an expectation that it will be, otherwise you wouldn't do it.
Exactly. So by nature of purchasing media, you have a hope it's going to be good.
Yeah.
In an expectation. I think the saying have low expectations it's a good sentiment with a misguided. I think the wording itself is where it's wrong in a sense. Like, it's not that you should have low expectations. It's that you should be ready to accept whatever's there.
You should be ready to accept that your expectations were too high.
Yeah, I should be ready to accept that your expectations were too high, or that whatever you're watching is not what you are expected. Because sometimes a game or a movie or whatever can be really good, but it's not what you expected. And because you were so hyped up and to expect it to be one thing, it will, like, the fact that it's not what you expected, for some people that can ruin an experience where if they didn't have that expectation, or if they weren't as willing to change their mindset, it can, I don't know, if it's a stubbornness. If you got a stubborn personality and you have a high expectations of something, if it's not exactly what you expected, it can ruin an experience that you otherwise would have enjoyed.
What if the only thing you expected was to not be so furious about a game that you can't even remember all the stuff you were going to scream about?
Yeah.
Because right now I'm remembering more stuff I was going to rip into DX2 for.
I think rather than saying that go in with low expectations, you should say go in with an open mind. You're going to have expectations, but be prepared for them not to be met or
Or by contrast, don't go in if you have too low expectations.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's
then
just...
again, I think...
Well, then you become me.
Well, no, expectations based off enjoyment. You might have low expectations of the actual quality of something, but you might get a kid... Like, you might... Okay, so... Like... You might know that, like, maybe the overall plot, or maybe it's not a well-composed movie, but you've heard that it's got really good characters or a really good sense of humor. So that's where your expectations are. You don't expect it to be a great movie, but you expect to get some real enjoyment out of it. And I think that's fine. Just be ready to have that shattered. Like if that's not because that might not be what's actually going on.
Anyways,
speaking of expectations, people are like calling me a downer for having absolutely no faith at all in Persona Q2.
I don't.
And openly saying that it's gonna suck, and people are like, "Oh, but it looks good." And my argument too is that Persona Q1 was a terrible mess that failed on every degree. The very idea that they're gonna make a sequel to it already says to me that there is no hope.
Yeah,
because they clearly did not learn their lesson.
Okay, so
no wait, but Dizzy, shit makes great fertilizer.
not for just a shit farm.
Well, we can talk about Q because I hate Persona Q quite a bit, despite loving the aesthetic and loving the. It's really only the soundtrack that keeps making me want to go back and finish it, just because
You never finished it?
No, I got I think to like near the end of the third dungeon. And I'm just like, I can't. I fucking can't.
Then you go away without the music, and then you say, I can't. I fucking can't.
Well, part of the problem with
let me explain the problems with Persona Q in as short and concise a manner as possible. Imagine a cast of 30 characters from things that you remember, all horribly flanderized to hell and back, and now imagine a combat system based from 3 different games that have nothing to do with each other, shoved into each other.
Yeah.
Persona Q is an unlikable mess where you have a bunch of people claiming to be characters that you recognize. The gameplay itself is horribly unbalanced.
Yeah. Okay. So, did you ever have problems where you had enemies that would call there was for example, there'd be these 3 police officers, like fat police officer enemies that would. The first 2 would lower your weakness to electricity all the way down to 0. So if you had someone who was no electricity, they would take it down to neutral, down to being weak, and then the third one hitting you with a like Bazionga or Maziadine, essentially wiping out at least half of your team in an instant.
No, because I was too busy instant killing every single enemy that came across me with Naoto's unlimited mana and instant
I think
killability.
the problem is I think I wasn't playing with Naoto. But when you're given too many options, sometimes you don't know what you're supposed to do and what you're given
a lot of options, but all of them are meaningless because Naoto is the only character you need in the entire game because she can instant kill every single enemy. Yeah. And with the horrible system of sub-personas, she can expend MP that will frequently be restored.
I think I'm pretty sure if I could have found that on. I don't think I played with Naoto at all, and that if I found that online,
I swear the only person I ever spoke to who liked Persona Q and defended it was GD, and I never got to ask GD for more details.
Knowing GD's taste, I feel like it's more of a.
I never found out why.
It's more of a character aesthetic thing. Knowing GD's taste, he likes those types of like silly character stories.
I was also the weirdo when it comes to Persona Q because I was the only person who liked Zen and Ray. Also, Try's gone again.
I don't know who that is.
Zen and Ray, Tar, I'm gonna just talk to you because Try's gone right now, unfortunately.
Alright, talk to me.
Okay, Persona Q was a horrible shoving where they took the characters from Persona 3 and Persona 4. Yeah, what? you were gone that whole time. Hi, Try, you're back.
Hi, Try.
Yeah,
basically,
I didn't appreciate how Q.
Oh, okay.
Like I didn't appreciate. Yeah, I didn't appreciate how Q took some really great characters and boiled them down to.
The boiling wasn't even accurate.
I know it's a flanderization. It's exactly what you're saying.
It's a flanderization of.
It was fan service. It's fan service without really understanding what people like about Persona.
Yeah, the main appeal of Persona is the characters, and they took the character out.
Yeah, no.
And that's why I liked Zen and Ray, because Zen and Ray were the only two characters in the game that had a personality, because they didn't exist before this game, so there was nothing to flanderize. They had to be given actual personalities.
Yeah, well, that's why I had them on my team the entire time, because like those are the only two I actually like those characters.
Really? Someone else other than me liked Zen and Ray?
Yeah. I like at least in Q.
Zen was also OP. He was immensely powerful. While every other character had brittle bone disease, Zen had like a whopping 700 HP.
Yeah.
No, well, everyone else had like 60. This is like playing Pokemon with a bunch of level 10s, and then you have a level 70 Giratina on the team.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel like part of like GD, like why GD likes it is because GD likes the types of shows and like stories where you have characters being silly and dumb, and they're being being dorks,
but their stupidity almost cost them their lives many times. Yeah. And also their stupidity is oftentimes mean-spirited towards one another.
Okay, so someone like you who cares about like how logical things are, and
I care about these characters I like.
Yeah, I know. No, you care about things that make sense, and like
I also care about the characters.
You don't like characters doing you don't like characters doing stupid things for no reason.
Okay, let me give you guys a quick little spoiler, but also a part that I really liked. One of my favorite games was Persona 3. I won't say if I liked it more than the other ones, but there was a character whose name was Junpei. Junpei was not very smart, and he kind of was a bit hot-headed because he had this sort of hero thing where he wanted to be the center of attention. Yeah. There is one part of the game where he gets captured by one of the villains and accidentally reveals to the villains that he is a member of, and also there exists even, a team of people that are fighting against these monsters, and he gets captured as a result. But that made sense within the story with Junpei's character, and it made sense. It was a blunder, but you could completely see where it was coming from. He did it because of who he is. In Persona Q, Junpei is a womanizing asshole.
Yeah, no. It comes down to Persona Q is a lot of fan service anime bullshit it cares more about being like treating it as like a comedy than like a comedy rather than a serious story outside of the Ren and like
Persona is supposed.
It's one of those types of anime stories where it writes its character reactions as like a slice of life comedy rather than an actual serious story.
One of Persona 3 and Persona 4. Persona 4, I think even more so than Persona 3, one of their stronger suits is that it is played like a life. You see these characters happy, you see these characters in casual situations, and then you see them in these crazy fantasy situations, and they're reacting in ways you can believe. They're confused, they're upset, or this person's trying to be killed. I'm upset about that because I don't like people being murdered.
But you're missing the point of what I'm trying to say. Persona 4, the reason why you live out the life is that's very integral to what the themes and typically speaking, those day-to-day lives, it allows you to bond with the characters. The silly parts on there are there for you to bond with the characters and get to know them better. And something like Persona Q, which is a pure fan service game, they're not there to make you bond with the characters. They're there to make you laugh and say, oh, hey, that character's doing something silly and stupid, or that put a smile on my face. There's nothing deeper to the humor in Q, where the humor in 4 and 3 is there not to make you laugh. It's there to make you bond and connect with these characters.
It adds a sense of realism. But in Persona Q, it's like it's a bad comedy.
And I wonder if it's actually my Discord that's crashing on me.
Yeah. Tar, are you still there?
I am. I just have opinions. Speaking.
I think Discord's been slowly, consistently crashing on me. I think it's not my internet. I think it's my Discord.
My Discord's been acting kind of weird too, so it might be a Discord problem.
Yeah.
But anyways, before I cut out, no doubt, I want to ask Tar something because Tar has absolutely no stake in Persona whatsoever.
Yeah. Okay.
So Tar, what do you think of this? In Persona Q, the game of flanderization, there is one character whose every single line has to do with protein and how much he loves protein. Yeah.
Akihiko? Yeah, I've heard of him.
That is him. And in Persona 3, guess how many times Akihiko mentions protein?
Maybe twice.
Exactly 2 times.
Hey!
Exactly twice in a 70-hour game. Yeah. And his whole personality is boiled down to liking protein. This isn't even flanderization.
That's kind of what happened in BB Tag, from what I can tell, too.
Well, that's what they did with Arena, too, because Arena flanderizes the characters quite a bit as well.
Arena has also flanderized the characters to hell and back.
Yeah.
There is no character. Akihiko is... the Persona 3 characters, for some reason... I don't know why, but Atlas hates Persona 3.
Yeah, no, they really do.
Atlas hates Persona 3.
I really think my problems with Persona 3 right now is actually me misremembering because of playing Persona 4 Arena and seeing having the characters the flanderized. I haven't played the original Persona 3 since I think I was a sophomore in high school. So of course I'm not going to remember everything right when they've shoved down all this bullshit flanderized versions of these characters.
Remember Junpei? He's an idiot who is a womanizer. Remember Yukari? She's mean. Get it? It's funny. Remember Fuka? She can't cook. Remember that? It's funny. Okay. Actually, you probably don't remember that because Fuka's cooking doesn't even come up in the plot of Persona 3.
You know what it is? They boiled down... Okay, so especially in Persona Q and in 4 Arena, I think in Arena they handled Persona 4's characters slightly better than 3. But
slightly better, yes.
I say kind of better. I'm not saying greatly.
I mean, I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah. It's because they don't expect the people playing Q in Persona 4 Arena to have actually played 3 because it came out early 2000s. They expect most of these people to only know.
It came out in 2006.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it was ironically set in 2009.
Yeah,
Isn't that funny?
It came out in 2006, but Persona 4 is the popular one. It's the one that got the anime adaptation. They expect most of the people playing Q and to be playing Arena to not have actually played Persona 4, but to have watched the anime and to know the memes and whatnot. So they don't expect the players to actually know anything about Persona 3's characters. So they've stripped them of any depth and only made them the character tropes that are kind of like those characters, so that they can exist So they can exist in those games as fan service, and so that they seem appealing to the people who have never played Persona 3.
Because writing characters how they're supposed to be
You keep saying
takes too much
fan
time
service,
and
and my
effort.
mind keeps going different places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not call this fan service. I would call this trying to kill Persona 3. Oh, and by the way, Tar, Persona 3 had a very strong central focus where the entire game focused around death and how people respond to it. And then Atlas made Persona... made Persona 3 dancing, where all the characters get around and start dancing.
Yeah. No.
Oh, that's fun.
I was gonna pre-order Persona 3 and 5 dancing until I realized that they didn't have the soundtracks like they did with Persona 4 dancing. I'm like, fuck this, I don't actually want to play the game. I just want those soundtracks.
You know what? You know what drives me?
That's the only reason why I got Persona 4 dancing is because I wanted the soundtrack.
Do you know what gives me completely mixed feelings about? I'm not sure if I should be angry or happy about this. I've been told by Enigma. Are you guys still there?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, Enigma told me, because Enigma actually likes Persona 4 dancing, that Persona 3 dancing and Persona 5 dancing don't have story modes. Yeah, no, and I thought about that, and I thought, on one hand, at least they're not ruining things further. On the other hand, just make the Persona 3 and Persona 5 characters DLC for Persona 4 dancing. Yeah, no, don't sell them to me for another $60.
No. What you do is you remake Persona 4 dancing for PS4, because they're releasing a PS4 version of it anyways, and have it come with the Persona 3 and 5 casts as expansions.
Exactly. If they're not going to have a story anyways, just make them extra characters.
Granted, the story in Persona 4 dancing was
dog shit.
Passable. Well, it was passable. There were some decent parts of it, but the real draw of Persona 4 dancing is it's a halfway passable rhythm game. It's got its problems, but
it's a rhythm game with Yukiko's tits slapped onto it.
Yeah, basically. The real appeal to the Persona 4 dancing game is the remixes of the soundtrack, because one of my favorite things from the Persona series is the soundtrack. I love game music and game OSTs. It's one of the things that
people keep giving me shit. People keep giving me shit for saying Persona 5 had a shit soundtrack.
It had some good individual songs, but they didn't have the same lasting potential as 4 and 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, here's my thoughts on the Persona 5 soundtrack. The proof is in the use, because people to this day still make YouTube videos where they play like Reach Out to the Truth or like Signs of Love from Persona 4. Yeah. No one plays music from Persona 5 except for a snippet of Last Surprise or like Waves in the Desert.
Yeah. Well, Rivers in the Desert. And
Rivers in the Desert.
Did it bother you as much as it did with me that they had Rivers in the Desert play both as the final the Yaldabaoth or like the Holy Grail theme, as well as for what's his face?
Shido? By the way, Persona 5 spoilers.
Yeah. Well,
by the way, Persona 5 spoilers. That guy who at the very beginning of the game they say is the villain, he's the villain.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Persona 5 is one of those games that there's like only one real point that I can say is, okay, don't spoil this point, guys, even though it's telegraphed to the whole game that that's going to happen. Like, that's the case.
I remember Persona 5 had this big plot twist that everyone was flaunting about, but you can find out the plot twist of the game without hacks or without anything within the first 3 hours. You can know the big dramatic twist.
Yeah, no. The only thing about that specific that twist is that they introduced just enough doubt that I can say, okay, maybe it's not worth spoiling, because like they think, oh, what if
it's pretty blatantly said to you.
Yeah. Well, no. For me, I was like, okay, I know this is going to happen, but I have this slight hope that maybe they're going to subvert it because they're just giving me enough doubt. And when they didn't subvert it, I was just left disappointed.
To give you an example, it is telegraphed as well as a sign on the freeway telling you when the next exit is.
Okay.
So basically, you see it, you expect it to happen, and then it happens. And then you don't even... That's it. That is the plot twist of Persona 5. It's like, here's a subtle little hint that this is exactly what's going to happen. And then 60 hours later it happens, and you're
It's more like you have an exit. It says like exit right. Like next right is the exit. And then you're like, okay, so I'm going to have to... So it's clearly I'm going to have to turn right. And then 50. You're driving down 50 more miles. There's no right turn. You're like, wait, is that a wrong sign? And then you see some left turns coming up. Like, well, you pass some left turns. Like, okay, maybe that was just a wrong sign. No, the right turn's there, and that's the exit you're supposed to take.
Yeah, that's actually a better analogy for it. Yeah. It's not well presented at all. It's just the game goes on for so long that you think maybe it was a misdirection.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a misdirection.
Yeah.
And I actually had a really long talk with Enigma where he and I had a really good back and forth about what a better plot twist could have been that was right there in their laps that they could have taken.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
In fact, he and I were convinced that it was what was supposed to happen, but then someone up top said, "No, you have to change this." And they're like, "But we have all this setup." And it's like, "No, you have to change this."
Yeah. Persona 5's biggest problem is it sets up a lot of interesting things and doesn't deliver.
Yeah, Persona 5 absolutely
kind
does
of
not
like
deliver.
us.
This is the most content we've given, I think.
Yeah,
it is.
See,
Although we do have 5 minutes.
Okay, we got to talk about games more often because I feel like that's something that we can actually...
That's why I picked this topic, bad games. I thought we all have things to rant about.
Yeah, why don't we just talk about bad games all the time?
Because we're
going to run out of material. I've already run out of material.
I mean, if you wanna continue our DX2 talk, I still haven't ripped apart every single individual character yet.
No.
Because I can do that.
Okay, before I cut out, I said we need to talk about D2 every podcast. Because that gives us enough content for the next few years.
Damn it, does that mean I actually have to play?
Yes.
Forgot.
Yes, you
Tar. Listen to me, Tar. Listen, think about everything we've told you about the game, and now really honestly tell me, do you want to play this game?
No.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of want to just so I can join in on the discussions.
Okay, so...
You know what, I'd be interested, actually.
This is what I want you to do. I want you to play through the first chapter of D2 and give us your thoughts, because it's a free game. It's only going to take maybe an hour or so at max.
No.
And you don't even have to do this in one sitting.
No, it'll take a long time.
Just the first chapter?
The first chapter?
No, just play through the prologue, not even the first chapter.
Okay, ask that, hold on, what was his name? Shinyor? He was a user on the chat. Mm-hmm. Shinora? Yeah, he actually reminded me, because I forgot, DX2, at the very beginning, is Tutorial City. The game is frequently stopping you from completing Chapter 1 to introduce a new mechanic.
Oh my god, you're right. Fuck, you're right. Never mind.
Tar,
don't even bother.
Tar,
don't even bother.
Chapter 1 will take you a minimum of like 2 hours, I think, or maybe even 3 hours. And it won't even be because it's long. It'll just be because after every level, it'll stop you to say,
okay,
now look at this.
Okay, change of topic. Tar, watch a Let's Play of the first chapter of... D2, because I'm pretty sure there's probably at least one person who's recorded it.
Probably.
Watch it. Don't obsess about.
Well, hang on now. If there's no porn, how do we know there's Let's Plays?
Okay. Actually, okay. So, I'm gonna transition to this a bit. There's at least one video online that shows gameplay and some story of it, because you had people giving first impressions and they used video of it. Like I recorded footage from their phones during the reviews. And can I say this? The people who played who got into the beta test period and were touting that the game had one of the better mobile stories and that the game had some of the better gotcha mechanics. Fuck you. You're a shill or you have no goddamn taste, because what the fuck?
No, try. You don't understand.
I've heard people compare this to be on the same quality as Fake Grand Order. And granted, like there is a lot of story in Fake Grand Order that is not good, but there are some, especially within the Camelot arc and how some of the character developments work. Fake Grand Order is at least a 6 out of 10. Giving a generous score, Fake Grand Order is a 6 out of 10. I don't even know if I can score fucking D2, because it is not worth that amount of thought of how good to score the story.
Try, you don't understand. he said best story out of mobile games. Well, most mobile games are just shoddily made Unity stuff. So technically speaking, the fact that it has a story at all means he's right.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Well, generally, gacha games do have some sort of storyline. Like, I played a bit of the Dragon Ball. Like, when it comes to anime gachas, they tend to have a story that goes along, and especially with tie-in series. I played a bit of Dragon Ball. Whatchamacallit. It's the
you don't remember because we're not paid by Bandai.
Yeah,
that's right. We're getting shilled by Sega, but we just took their money and then shit on their game instead.
Yeah. There was this Dragon Ball like type of like match 3 fighting like weird game that's really popular. Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle has a story mode that like I don't it's not great, but it's better than D2's because I guess whenever you're working with established characters, you already have a better chance of writing a good story when it comes to these types of tie-in games. Don't compare it to Fake Grand Order. Fake Grand Order, while it has its problems, is nowhere near as bad as this. I've played my fair share of gacha games with stories, and D2 is by far the worst.
Okay, hold on.
For fuck's sake. Okay, I'm just saying here. Duel Links has a better story than D2.
Okay, that's true. Yes, but okay. I know we're out of time, but I still want to ask. Last question. After this, I'm gonna shut up. Tar, I need to ask you because you are an impartial third party, except you're not because you played Super Monkey Ball Adventure.
Which makes you a fucktard.
Which game from the games we talked about had a worse story? Super Monkey Ball Adventure, Persona Q, or DX2? Which game had a worse story in your mind?
Oh boy.
I think you're going to say...
I'm probably going to have to say DX2.
Yes!
Yes! Yes.
We have successfully saved Tar from this game.
Honest to God, after talking about this, I kind of want to play Super Monkey Ball Adventure. I don't want to play DX2 ever again. I don't want to play Persona Q. I don't want to play DX2. I want to play Super Monkey Ball Adventure. Because
I 100%ed it in 2 days.
Because at least Super Monkey Ball Adventures, I feel like I can get some enjoyment and some laughs out of that. The only laugh I got out of DX2 was that fucking scene from chapter 4 when they had like that torture coliseum.
Oh yeah, where the guy was like torturing the girl because she looked like his daughter.
Yeah.
And he was like going on about it for hours, and then he never actually did anything because he was too busy reveling in how evil he was.
Well, here's the thing: like in Super Monkey Ball Adventure, like the big thing is supposed to be the characters. The problem is every character that isn't named Baby, Rufus, or All I Want is completely wooden.
I'll take wooden over.
At least they don't shit on the main character every other line.
I'll take wooden over offensive.
Well, some of them do.
Is it every character in the game?
Go to Moonhaven. Count how many times you're gonna get shit on for being small.
Is there at the very least a justifiable explanation for it, or at the very least an explanation for it? Period.
Okay, so like these,
you said
like,
being shit on for being small. At least then there's like a racist kind of system going on where they're like, "Oh, you're short." In DX2, they just hate you.
No, and in DX2 they're anti-protagonist. If you're a protagonist of your own story, they hate you.
They just hate you.
Anyways.
They'll just take any chance they could get to shit on you.
Okay. DX2 makes me want to replay Persona 5, and that's saying something because I don't really want to do that.
Well, I'm going to have to replay Persona 5 for footage for this episode because I don't have an emulator or any way to record a PlayStation 2, so I can't play Super Monkey Ball Adventure.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
sorry. Actually, I have like the
on
weirdest
this Wait, hang on. Are we done here?
No, go ahead.
On that depressing note, this has been Bros in a Landfill. This is Tar.
Hi, Tar.
Hi.
This has been Bros in a Landfill.
Signing off.
Was this the best episode or the worst episode? Well,
dude, this is the most fun I've had fucking recording in like any of these episodes.
I know. Me too.
This is.
It makes me want to fight to.
Okay. By nature of this one being good, it's actually the worst because it doesn't fit into the theme of the channel.
This episode is actually